Hey everybody, it's Aaron from the Kilby Life bringing you another Kilby Life reaction video. Today I'm going to be reacting to Neuroscientists. The fitness industry lied to you from Andrew Huberman. And I thought I would do a few short reaction videos. So watch all three of them in a row. Really helps the algorithm. Make sure smash that like button and share these videos with anyone you think that could use them. Let's see what he has to say. I've heard some stuff from Andrew Huberman, and yeah, I'm interested to see what he says.
And people ask me this kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? How do I sleep better? How do I stop stressing? And usually I find that people are not serious, meaning they want an answer, but they don't want to do the work.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, look, it's really simple. Can you not eat until?
Yeah, well, this is where I stop it immediately because he is literally talking about some of the stuff that I deal with when it comes to coaching or in real life when it came to pastoral care. A lot of times people ask you things, but they're just asking you. They really don't want to do the work, and they're interested, but not that interested. And it's one of those things that can get you down and depressed and just kind of lose faith in humanity and make you not want to try. But fortunately, I've been through it enough to know that every once in a while, someone listens, and that's awesome. Let's see what else he has to say.
2 p.m. I was like, yeah, I'm not hungry in the morning. I'm like, great, drink coffee, drink water, and in the morning, get up and just get on, either run or get on some exercise bike and just pedal like someone's chasing you with a syringe full of poison.
Right in the morning after when you wake up.
Yeah, or, after a few minutes,
Okay.
give yourself some time, go to the bathroom. You're
I
serious.
get up and go. No, I have questions about this
Early
because
day.
I'm the opposite, right? I find it hard for me to gain weight and stuff like that. So please continue, though. I got this question after.
Yeah. So, and the reason I felt any, sense of agency in giving this information is, I've done a bunch of different things in neuroscience related to vision and neuroplasticity and stress, but I've done some work and continue to do some work with special operations and some of these groups that are interested in how you use biology to improve human performance over long periods of time.
Okay.
So, basketball players, military, these kinds of things. And so there's a pretty straightforward formula where when you've been asleep all night, your fuel reserves, like you've got fuel in your fat. You guys don't have any of that, but you got fuel in your fat, you've got fuel in your muscles that can be burned, and you got fuel in your liver. It's called glycogen. And when you wake up early, all of that is as low as it's going to be because you haven't been eating anything.
Got you.
And so if you exercise, then your body starts dropping into your body fat stores quicker. So what I was trying to give Mike was a tool that would allow him to see some.
Quick question about that. Let's say you ate dinner, then you went to sleep and you woke up in the morning, but you fasted and you don't add anything to it. Would that then, that moment when you decide to exercise at 2 p.m. but before you ate dinner, would it still have the same effect?
Results really quickly.
Oh.
So I said, look, do it fasted and then continue to hydrate and then eat your first meal in the afternoon. And I said, and also, do you like drinking? And he was like, well, I don't know. I drink mostly because it kind of sets me straight up here. And I was like, well, we can talk about the stuff to kind of set your head level. I mean, he wasn't spun out. He just obviously was medicating with alcohol.
Sure.
And not in a severe way because he's fully functional. He's an amazing photographer,
Yeah.
raised 2 kids. And so I
Sure,
want to be clear about what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I didn't detect anything dysfunctional about him. He was just reporting to me that he wanted some assistance.
Right.
So I said, would you be willing to drop the drinking or pare it back?
Yeah.
And he said, sure. So, okay. So explain that. And I said, look, and here's my number. Just for the anxiety and stress management, I'll give you some breathing, some respiration tools that work really well that are not, woo mysticism. It's not, I'm not going to tell you to meditate 30 minutes a day, although that's a cool practice too. I'm going to give you some tools you can use in real time as you're working hard and dealing with whatever it is you're dealing with in life. Okay. So that ends, the conversation ends, and Greg Hunt was there too. I knew from growing up.
Yeah.
Talked to Greg a little bit. And then a year later, Mike reaches out and says, hey man, thanks for all that stuff you gave me. I was like, oh, cool. And he's like, I lost 60 pounds and I haven't had a sip of alcohol since we talked last and feeling pretty good.
Damn.
And I was like, so how did you do it? He's like, well, I get on the bike and I pedal as hard as I can, and like someone chasing me with a syringe full of poison.
Sure.
And, I was like, he remembered. You know, and I was so impressed. Like, very few people can just take the menu and just do it.
Go.
Right. And maybe it's his Midwest upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did get gifted a AK rifle for his 9th birthday, living in Ohio growing up. I mean, Mike's,
Yeah. But some people also, I feel like, reach that point in their life where they're like, it's time. This is whether it's smoking or drinking, like you can't quit smoking unless you're mentally prepared to, right? It's like there's that switch.
Look, I always say the beauty of being young is that neuroplasticity, your nervous system's ability to change in response to experience, to learn things, is at its absolute peak. However, you don't have that much control over your life when you're young, right? Especially when you're really young. As you get older, it gets harder to change your nervous system, but you can do it. But the advantage you have is that you can direct exactly what changes you want to happen. And so there are 2 different ways to change your nervous system depending on whether or not you're younger or you're older. And it's not like the gate drops right at 25. It just tapers off. But Mike made the decision, and I always say, you if somebody is an adult, you can't change their mind.
Right.
You literally can't. They have to make the decision to do that. And he flipped the switch. He flipped it, and he's still there. And I think he feels much better physically. And then
pumpkin seeds? What? All right, that was interesting. Get on the bike and ride it like someone's chasing you with a syringe full of poison. I mean, I'm not an expert when it comes to all the when to exercise, when not to exercise. I have found that I exercise in the morning in a fasted state. I don't wake up and then hop on a bike immediately. I probably wait 30 minutes. I'm not sure if that matters or not, but I have found, that's the time I have to do it. So that's the time I do it. He's telling the story, I think, because he gave someone advice and the guy took it. And then he got the phone calls like down 60 pounds, stopped drinking. He was like, thank you. And it was like, that's what like everyone's looking for. Like if you're like a health coach or a life coach or just a good friend and you're trying to give advice to people, you're looking for someone to actually take it. That being said, you got to make sure you're giving good advice. And that's a long journey. And you're going to need some grace in that, people to give you some grace, because information changes over time. But, this wasn't really diet. Essentially, it didn't talk about changing the way he ate at all. He might have changed the way he ate just because he was trying, but he did say that he stayed off the alcohol, which is going to be a big deal. And it's like, what was the catalyst for change? What, was he just tired of all the crap? Was he just done? And he said, like, he just made the decision. He made the decision. And that is what I did. I feel like when I went on the carnivore diet, I made the decision to do something. And then I made a goal. And when I got to the end of that goal, I had to make another decision. But honestly, I was pre-deciding when I was getting close. Yeah, because when you start getting at that goal, you start thinking, okay, I'm going to get to the goal and then I can quit or I can cheat or whatever your mindset is. But for me, I didn't want to essentially ruin all the progress or lose all the progress I made. So I started lamenting essentially beforehand about what I was going to do when I reached that goal and pre-deciding what that was going to look like, the kind of as a protection so I didn't get out of control. So yeah, make the decision. Be done with it. Throw your hands up in there and say, I'm done with this. I'm done with doing it this way. I'm going to try a new way. All right, let's check out this next one. Click over here.